ऋतिका। 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 ऋतिका।
आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference. ऋतिका। 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 ऋतिका।
आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference. ऋतिका। 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 ऋतिका।
आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference. ऋतिका। 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 ऋतिका।
आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference. ऋतिका। 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 ऋतिका।
आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference.
everyone, and a warm welcome. Hope you are having a good day. I'm Ruchita Jain. Today, I'm your host, and I'll be hosting you this three series of insurance awareness wellness insurathon from Max Life Insurance. Let me tell you, yesterday we had a fabulous session on financial awareness, financial well-being, but today we are here to discuss a very important topic, very close to all our hearts, which is wellness for women. Before we get into that, let me also tell you we have another great webinar coming for all of you, which is on Monday, which is all about health, fitness, and how to maintain your lifestyle to have a better well being. Now, coming on to the women wellness, we all are aware, women are creators, women are nurturers, women are the ones who are actually managing all our lives. They really rule the world. Be it mother, be it sister, be it wife, or be it a daughter, I think they manage all very beautifully. But amidst all of this, do you really think they give importance to self care? Do they give importance to their wellness, their mental wellness, mental well being, physical wellness, and financial wellness? So today, that is the topic for us, how to really have women, change this attitude, change this behavior, wherein they start giving a lot more importance to their overall wellness and holistic well being. Today, I have a lot of experts with me, who are going to share their key insights, learnings from their own lives, and a lot of things on how as women, we can do to change our lifestyle and the way we see money and our health. Okay, so without further ado, let me welcome our guests. So we have Mr. Krishna Kumar Ramasubramaniam, who is Director and Head of Operations at Max Life Insurance. Now, he is our go to person when it comes to financial wellness, and he's the financial expert from Max Life Insurance. Our second guest is Ms. Charandeep David, again from Max Life Insurance. She is the Corporate Vice President, Human Resources, and she is the superwoman juggling between her personal life and corporate life. And like how, she's the one who's managing everything so beautifully, and we'll have a lot to learn from her. Next guest with us, we have Miss Urvi Gajra. She is our yoga, nutrition, and health experts. And we are going to learn a lot of things from her on how do we really, in our daily lifestyle can adopt those kind of habits or those kind of changes that we can do, which can help us develop our healthy well-being. So without further ado, let me quickly start the webinar. Before I start, thank you all the audience. I would request all of you to please rate the webinar, give your feedback. There is a 5-star available at the bottom of this webinar. You can rate that for us. And secondly, you can also share all your Q&A, any kind of questions you want all our experts to answer. We are going to take all those questions towards the end. Okay, so let us begin. Miss Urvi, my first question is to you. What do you really mean by wellness for women? What does it entail? What we as women should think when we think about wellness? What is it that really comes under the wellness umbrella?
Thank you so much, Ruchita, for the lovely introduction and for the session. Speaking of wellness and speaking of overall health, now we are humans and we can only perceive very little few things. The first is vision. So what we do is we judge people whether they are healthy or unhealthy by just looking at them. So if someone is looking fat, we'll say, okay, they are unhealthy. If someone is looking thin, we will still give the same term, they are also unhealthy. And if someone is looking absolutely fit, then you will put a tick. But health is not just about weight loss, weight gain, or your overall external appearance. When it comes to the term wellness, according to WHO, that is World Health Organization, they have stated its health is not just merely an absenteeism of disease, but it actually digs in deeper, wherein we address the mental health issues, the social health. Yes, there's something called as social health, financial health, physical health, as well as intellectual health. So these are different dimensions of wellness that we should all look into and not just the external appearance. So there's so much about wellness that we can learn, and I will be addressing all of that in the session.
I think I totally agree, and we all agree. WHO really says that wellness is not just absenteeism of a disease; it's much more and much more related to the entire well-being. So, Urvi, let me know. I mean, what you said. Are women really aware of these things? Especially if I talk about the Indian women, are they aware of this concept? Since most of our life, revolves around kids, our kids, protected, our kids, even for the fact that have they eaten their food, what are they doing every day? All throughout, we have them in our minds. So, are women really aware of such a concept? What is your view on that?
So that is the biggest question that women today, the awareness is being raised between you and me. But look at our mothers, look at our grandmothers. When we talk about mental health in front of our grandmother, she wouldn't even considering talking about or having that conversation. So it is very important to have the conversations about wellness, about health, and that is how we will raise awareness. So in today's modern world, where the women are equal or even more than men. So, in this world where we are hustling so much, we are aware. We are definitely aware that there's something called as wellness, there's something called as mental wellness. But even today, when it comes to compromising something, women would never compromise on their kids' health. They would always give that tiffin to their husband or their in laws. But when it comes to themselves, even after knowing everything, even after being aware of every little thing about their health, about their mental well being, they would actually compromise on themselves. And this is the main topic. And we need to raise awareness, and we need to raise awareness about the guilt free. Like, there's always a mom guilt, there's always a wife guilt. So, we are always living in guilt. So, we need to come out of this and raise more awareness and understand the concept even better.
I totally agree. We should be more guilt free. And, the thing that you said, it has to start from now on. That's how we should nurture our next generation and, the next set of people so that they are prepared in that manner. I totally agree. Charan, my next question to you is that, you are a corporate achiever, that, that person who has almost achieved everything that, and you're that kind of women ideal that we all see as. So, and also you're that super mom, so how do you really deal with, and how do you really juggle with all of these things, that all of these two aspects of our lives, and at the same time maintain wellness? So if you can just throw some light and share some learnings with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ruchita, for the fab introduction and having me here on this panel today. For me, it's always been very important to begin with, for myself, eating right. I think eating is very, very important. From the very beginning, ever since I was a child, even in my house, my father was very, very particular about what we eat. Even if it was just, two rotis and dal, he would just say, put, 1 spoon of ghee in it. So that, will really take you a long way. So eating right has been very, very important. And, when you start working, you do get into a scenario where you're having too much of tea, or, you have, these binges where you start eating a lot of sweets and all of that. And I've been through all of those in my life. But I think it's very important for you to be conscious, correct yourself, and make sure that you're having a very good proportion of everything, whether it's proteins or vitamins, which is a combination of the fruits that you eat. Are you having pulses? All of that, I think, is very, very important. Also, one thing I learned very early in my, childhood was don't fill your stomach. Always make sure that if you need to eat, say, 2 rotis, have just 1. That will take you a long way. And again, I just go back to what my father used to say. He used to say, you will not die if you eat less, but you'll definitely die if you eat more and put on weight. So that has really stayed with me. And I make sure that even in my house, the kind of food that we eat, oil is very less. We make sure that, we are having a healthy food. There are salads, that are there. Apart from that, so it's eating. I also make sure that I find opportunities to walk around. I really don't get time. Like you said, it's a very busy schedule. I don't get time to exercise and go to the gym and all of that. But I make sure I find opportunities to stand, to walk around. In the office, if I need to talk to somebody, I'd rather take the stairs, go up and talk to them, or go down and talk to them, or walk to their desk and talk to them, rather than picking up the phone and talking. Even at home, when I come back, I make sure I'm walking, I'm, standing in the kitchen and cooking, doing some household work, so that, some kind of activity is there in your body. And it's, I think, more after eating, it's about the blood circulation. It's important that, there's blood circulation in your body. And these are very simple things that I maintain to make sure that I'm not putting on weight. That's very important for me. Like Urvi said, the first thing is your appearance. So I make sure I don't do that. And of course, it's also about fitness, about your mental being. If you're feeling, light, you feel good. I feel you're more energetic. So that's what I really do, Ruchita.
Absolutely, and I can't disagree more on that, because it's always said that wellness begins with your body, and it's the body where you live in, and that's the thing that you have to really take care to begin with. So I think I totally agree with that. But Sharon, just a top up question on that itself. That have you faced any challenges in your journey whenever you have picked up this wellness challenge for you? Did you face any hurdles, any obstacles, and this daring attitude of having it all, which we women have, which is good to have as well? But what are the challenges, obstacles, or hurdles that you came across, and how did you tackle them?
So yes, there are many times, Ruchita, where I actually thought I'll join the gym for my wellness, because just to let you know, my family is a complete fitness freak. Actually, my husband has a gym in Delhi. My daughter's a fitness freak. My younger one is also, and both of them are black belt in karate. So we actually put them into fitness very early in life. So I'm the only maybe unfit person according to them at home. And I've also tried to do that, join a gym, go there. But I think the hurdles that I've always faced is, by the time you come home, as a working woman, and, when you're looking after your family, so you get up early in the morning, you're sending them to school or to college or to work or whatever that may be. When you come back yourself, you're dead tired. So that whole piece of that whole bit of pulling yourself up and saying, no, I really need to do this for myself, is the biggest hurdle that all women face, I think. To really get up and say, okay, I need to do this for myself, because, like Urvi, you said, I think we tend to put everybody else before us. We tend to, take a back seat and say, we'll do it tomorrow, or, it's okay. One day will not really matter. We can start tomorrow. But I think that is really the biggest hurdle. And thankfully, now I get pushed around from my family at home saying, everybody's fit and you're the unfit person. You start meditating, you start taking time off for yourself, because it's important. If, you're not fit, how will you take care of us? So I think that is something that is now making me a little more conscious. I mean, I've always been aware, like you said, Urvi, you're always aware of what you need to do. But it's making me a little more conscious of saying, yes, if I don't take care of myself, how am I going to really take care of my family? And it is more to do with yourself than anybody else. You really need to say, no, I need to do it today, and I will do it now rather than tomorrow. And that's a hurdle. If you can kind of, cross over, then it becomes a little more easy for you.
Wow, very nice tips. I think that's we women are wanting to hear from somebody, but in our daily lives, somewhere we lose track and we don't really implement. But I think I will today paste it on my wall in front of me to ensure I follow that very diligently. Urvi, over to you. I mean, Charan shared her hurdles, her obstacles. What tips are you going to give to women? How they can maintain their physical well-being when it comes to maintaining their lifestyle, or any other changes that they have to do. Those quick tips, if you can give us.
So, first suggestion as a clinical dietitian would be that don't stick to a strict diet plan or a strict regime. So, when it comes to motivation, we are quite motivated. Okay, now, like for example, you have heard this session, and now you are quite motivated from all of us, and you are going to start today. So, you decide from today onwards, I'll go to the gym every day. From today onwards, I'll have this food, or I'll have broccoli every day, or I'll have soup. I'll start with intermittent fasting. Please don't do that. Why? Because you will lose motivation, and once you stop, the yo-yo effect is extremely bad. So what will happen is you might lose some weight, but that's not actually fat. It might be muscle, it might be water. And then if you give up in 1 week, if you give up in 2 weeks, again, you will come back to your normal diet. So first thing is pick a diet that is sustainable. First thing that is sustainable. Imagine you are picking a habit that you are ready to follow throughout your lifestyle. First thing. Second is that is convenient to you. For example, it might be sustainable, but making soups daily, if you pick that habit, might not be convenient to everyone. Let's say I pick only broccoli soup or something like that. So you need to keep your options open and something that is convenient, that is not going extra mile, something that can fit in your routine. So the first suggestion would be, if you want to lose weight, gain weight, you have to maintain on your lifestyle. And even if you want to maintain weight, like let's not talk about weight, let's talk about health. So if you want to be healthy, so you have to maintain a lifestyle and do not ever diet for a month or for two. Never follow a diet plan. It has to be always a lifestyle change. So focus on habit building rather than following a diet plan. So you can just follow 3 habits per week. I'm giving you some simple tips. For example, the first habit is I will drink a glass of water every morning. Not everyone does that. So just giving you an example. The second habit can be I will eat salads before my lunch and before my dinner or with my main meals. So instead of stressing about it, just add a bowl of salad before your lunch, before your dinner. That will add good amount of fiber. It is also low in calories and hence it will help you increase the overall satiety. So this is the second habit. Or the first habit can be drinking a glass of water plus minimum 2.5 to 3 liters of water. Or you can promise yourself that you will be conscious about your water intake. Second was your fiber intake. That is your salad before your main meals. The third thing that we lack as a woman or as an Indian population is protein. So all our meals, if you see, in the morning, probably you're having parathas, poha, upma, idli, dosa, sambar, everything, a source of carbs. Now you would say, what if I'm adding dal to it? What if I'm adding sambar? Look at the consistency of the dal and sambar. It's so thin. And plus that dal and sambar has protein, but it also has carbs. So if it is giving you, let's say I'm talking fats here. If 1 cup of dal is giving you somewhere around 6 grams of protein, 30 grams of dal will give you 6 grams of protein, but it is also giving you 17 grams of carbs, which is almost equivalent to a cereal. But yet we consider pulses or dal as a superior choice of protein. No doubt they are giving you the protein, but they come with carbs. So you can't just simply add. You will have to calculate and take a calculated risk. You will have to replace. Please just don't keep adding anything to your diet. Always look at the overall calorie. So the third one is protein. So just 3 simple habits: water as well as fiber and protein in every meal. Even if you are adding protein in every meal, you will not be able to complete your protein profile. So if your weight, or if you are working out, or if your weight is on a higher side and if you want to lower it down, then make sure that you are adding protein to every meal. Trust me, fiber and protein intake will automatically reduce everything else that you're eating, and automatically it will also help you reduce your weight. So please focus on habit building and do not skip on exercise. As Sharon rightly said, that she deliberately forces herself, pushes herself to get up and to hit the gym or probably just do some home workout. One more excuse is, oh, it's raining, I can't go to the gym. Okay, I have to leave my kid to the classes, or I have to pick them up or cook. You can just do 15 minutes of normal, simple workout. Just start and be consistent. So I'm also a yoga therapist, and I suggest this to every client of mine that just put a timer, set a timer, only 10 minutes. So after your lunch, set a timer, only walk for 10 minutes, not even 1 minute extra, not even 1 minute less. Walk for 10 minutes after your lunch, walk for 10 minutes after your dinner. As Sharon lightly said, for the blood circulation toward your overall limbs and to improve your digestion, it will also help you with your sugar spike. So it will not create that sugar spike. Instead, it will help balance just that 10 minutes of walk, and 1 more 10 minutes you have to remove for Surya Namaskar. So Surya Namaskar works on your overall flexibility, on your strength, as well as on your cardio. So if you're taking 10 minutes of Surya Namaskar, you can easily do around 20 to 40 Surya Namaskars. So 10 minutes is very less time, but imagine you're doing 20 or 40 Surya Namaskar. And after that 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, 10 minutes, you don't even know when you're scrolling through Instagram or when you're doing something else and you're just wasting that 10 minutes. Instead, start small. And in finance also they say, right, you have to invest in small capitals to get a big investment or big capital later. So yeah, that's my suggestion here.
Absolutely. I think that's consistency in habit building is really important. And I take WFP, which is water, fiber, and protein from you. And at least we should begin with these habits to begin. And you have given me a cue, the financial part that you just now mentioned. I think that is also more important. And that makes me move to Mr. Krishna. And I think he's our financial expert today. With him, I want to know that, what is the role of financial wellness when it comes to the holistic well-being and holistic wellness for women? What do you want to suggest to women on how to be financially prepared and maintain the financial wellness also alongside with the physical wellness?
Thank you, Ruchita. Firstly, welcome to my fellow panelists and welcome to all our customers and prospects and in general to the audience. Thank you for inviting me. I feel very privileged to be part of this particular topic and being engaged with you on that particular front. On a lighter note, I did feel hungry often enough, Urvi, when you were talking about food choices and so on and so forth. But I'm in a dilemma to figure out, okay, it should stop at 80%. I'm picking up a lot from you, Charan, too, as well, and I can imbibe more my day. To your question, Ruchita, it's no longer a question, should women have a good view about wellness, including financial elements. We all know women make homes in that sense, in a much broader way as well. And we all know the importance, as we have seen through our daughters, through our mothers, sisters, etc., etc. So it's no longer a question. It's about how do we break the typical stereotypes that we have all been used to, right? I just very recently saw a video, some of you would have also seen it, when the participants across both genders are asked to move up one step, move one step back if they're done it or not done it. It so happens that, did you learn cycling before 10? People will move up and so on and so forth. And slowly questions started coming on financial awareness and insurance and savings, etc. You could see the men moving ahead much farther and the women staying back. Somehow it has happened. I'm sure the questions would have been the same if some of us were asked in men, do you know how to manage the kitchen? So we'd all stayed back and some others would have moved up in the women folk. This is really the stereotype that we have to break. Across the globe, the narratives are shifting. India has 48.6% women folk. Why is it not 50-50? It starts from there. Why is it not even higher than that? Someone was referring. Our policyholder base, if I have to say, it's less than 25%. And we do know men buy for women, but not women themselves. So the journey of this financial self-discovery for women and them being comfortable with that has a far-reaching impact, not just on the individual per se, but on families, for community, for the nation building, and so on and so forth. And finance, being comfortable with finances and earning well, it brings in a sense of identity, confidence, and so on and so forth, right? Reduce vulnerability, ability to take a firm posture on how one wants to do a career or take some financial goals and so on and so forth. We did a survey very recently. It's titled the India Protection Quotient, and it's a proprietary study which captures the degree of how much Indians feel protected from future uncertainties. And women, nearly 8 in 10 women say they have a life insurance plan. So things are moving in a direction. It's not very bleak, but we could do more so there. We all know, and talking from experience, I would say children are closer to their mothers. I'm sure not many will refute that fact. So when women familiarize themselves with financial aspects and they are able to bring that as well in their daily life, in the practical conversations with the children, I think that also gives a much better step for the younger ones as well. And we'll talk about it as long as through the program. Notwithstanding this, and I always say this, it need not be seen morbidly. There are two things that every human being goes through, in the world. Two things are very certain. One is death, and another is taxes, right? And life insurance has a way of blending both and providing a bridge between both these extremes. So having that financial kitty also supports women in the unlikely demise of a main earner or even otherwise an important member in the family. Over to you, Ruchita.
I think very well said. Children more close to mothers than their fathers. I think fathers have some task to do there. So, kidding. But I think very well said, and a lot of advice that we have to take, as women, so that we are more to moving towards financial awareness and towards financial stability for ourselves as well. Moving on to Charan, if I may ask, as a working professional, do you actively plan for financial wellness? Is it top of your mind? Or does your family play a part in decision making? Or has it transitioned over time? What do you have to say on that?
Yeah. So the first thing, the first mantra in my house is my money, and everybody else's money is also my money. So that's the financial planning that I do. But jokes apart, yes, I think whenever we are investing, whether it is in a medical insurance or in a life insurance, or we want to buy a property, or it is any smart investment plan, we actually get together as a family and decide what should be done. We've made sure that both my daughters are aware of, first of all, where we are investing, and if they have a view in it, and then we tell them, okay, go and research and come back, and we'll have a discussion on it again. I feel it's very important for the family to decide together, because there's total awareness of where the money or where the investment is going and what's happening to that investment. We do have an advisor who advises us on what we should be putting our money into. But definitely, I mean, both my daughters, me, and of course my husband, we play a very important role in all the investments that we do, wherever we put our money, including going for holidays. Even that, we sit and compare together, because that's also, cost. That's money which is going somewhere. We sit together and we decide, and we also compare together, what is working out better for all of us, and what is more cost effective. So yes, it's done by the family together, and it is a very important part of discussion. Mostly every Sunday evening, we all sit down together over a drink, and we are discussing what needs to be done next from a financial perspective.
Very nice. I think that's a practice that all families should follow in their households, and that's very well said. That there's a time that you're dedicating it for discussing amongst all of you. So, Krishna, you just now spoke about that, there is a survey which is India Protection Quotient, and in that survey, working women are, coming at par, and even their life insurance ownership is growing and growing as we speak. So, I just want to, hear from you that what role can insurance as such play in achieving financial stability or financial wellness for women?
Thank you. Great question. And while my response is actually for women, it applies equally for men and women both. It's no longer a question again. When we create a building, the basement is so very important, right? The stronger the basement, the better the building is, and more stable it is. It can withstand many shocks. True to that, life insurance is actually the bedrock. And that should be the first integral element before any other planning comes. That's the way it has to be seen. People know about mutual funds, people know about equity markets, etc., but that all comes much later. The first is life insurance, number one. Number two, it is that safety net that the families know is available in case of an unfortunate incident, but you don't need to dig into that. It's there. It's always there. It's like that, the seat belt that you wear while you're driving it. You're better off wearing it than not having it or not wearing it, in that sense. So first is, it provides that life risk cover. all of us have a particular value in our life, and we call it the human life value. The human life value actually goes on increasing in a very linear manner, and it is directly proportional to the amount of responsibilities that that person takes on himself. Example, himself or herself. Example, working woman getting married, working woman having an ambition to buy a house, working woman and a family with a kid, two kids, buying a vehicle. All these are responsibilities. So how does one ensure that responsibilities are paid? Only when you earn well as you protect. Because the earning part, and we say life insurance is a proxy for the earnings that you have or the earning that you may have had if you're not around. So that's the cushion, that's the buffer zone that's getting built. So first is providing that cover. Number two, since our industry, and we got to do a lot more, is a bit difficult to understand. And we have, as I was saying, educational sessions like these go a long way in demything many of the misunderstood concepts of life insurance. This is also positioned as a smart savings. You know, you pay so many premiums for these many years. It keeps on adding. We provided how you can view the account statements. We provided how we send you bonuses, so on and so forth. So it becomes a neat little save every day. And as somebody said, small drops make a big ocean, right? So it is a smart savings. Number three is when you have that financial security, you're independent, and this matters a lot. People may not come and say proclaim financial independence, but it gives you that certainty back of your mind that, you know, I am on myself, and that's a big liberating thing. In general, women are younger, their longevity is going to be higher, and therefore life insurers provide a lower premium compared to men of same age, and this is very important. So their premium amounts are much lower, and so that also is an integral part of how women need to take. The sooner it is better. We always say the best time to take a life insurance plan is today, and the second best is if you're not taken it yesterday, right? Lastly, the government of India, across various income tax regulations, provide benefits for policyholders who take life insurance plans. So, in some 5 areas where you could benefit out of. Number one is providing life cover. Number two is it's a great vehicle for creating and accumulating savings. Number three, it provides you financial independence. Number four, the premium amounts are much more cheaper, so you may want to benefit out of it. And five, depending on your income tax bracket and your earnings, you will have tax savings. That's pretty much you have. What does Max Life have to do with it? We factor in these needs and create tailor-made propositions for women. Even in general plans, we do offer significant discounts for women per se. And we do provide options where there are joint life cover in which a husband and a wife can take covers and so on and so forth. But that's more on a later date.
Sure. I think providing that safety net, safety cover, or buffer that every woman should prepare to. That's a great advice, and it's good to see Max Life Insurance is really prepping up for giving more women-centric plans and women-centric discounts. I think that's really beneficial and very helpful for all women out there. Urvi, my next question is to you. Now we are switching gears from we discussed about health, we discussed about financial well-being. Now I would want to know from you about the mental well-being. There is a lot to focus these days on mental well-being or mental peace, I would say, or mindfulness, it for that matter. We can now even help. We have mental health leaves. A lot of companies are providing that as well. What do you really mean by mental well-being? What do you want to tell the audience that what is it? What should we be prepared for, and so on?
So, I hope you might have heard about anxiety, depression, or even eating disorders. So, there is an eating disorder called as bulimia nervosa, where you feel so guilty of eating that food that you go to the washroom and you puke it out. So, that is all. That will all come under the umbrella of mental disorders and mental well-being. So, the term mental well-being is this should be calm, which is not. So I can't state that everyone is suffering from any kind of anxiety or depression or mental illness. But at the end of the day, when you want to sit with yourself, there will be so many thoughts. I mean, you can just travel around the universe because your mind is wanderer. But mindfulness here comes in picture where it's okay. You are aware that are your thoughts and you take complete credibility and you take complete action. So this is where mindfulness comes in picture. Even if you are eating your food, the connection between your mind and your gut is lost somewhere. So we are either watching TV or we are working or we are chatting with our colleagues and here we are having food. So the mindfulness is lost there. So with mental health, the first thing that you can do is being more aware. Live in this moment and being more aware. If you're doing certain work, for example, if you are eating, only eat, nothing else. No TV, nothing like at least can we try that for one meal, just with one meal. Then followed by that, just 5 minutes meditation. So even people are confused about the term of what is meditation. So meditation is nothing but just sitting with yourself. It's like you are sitting in a quiet room, or it can be a completely filled room with strangers or with your loved ones. It's just that your eyes are closed and you are with yourself. And at that time, you will get the weirdest of thoughts and you will think about everything you have done in your past, you have done in your present, and what you want to do in your future. But the most important part is to live here, and that is how you will slowly, mindfulness and mental health issues always develop slowly. Overnight, you will not be able to be more aware. So you have to do small things, and small practices will help you lead towards a stable mind and a stress-free life. Because stress is a part of life now. We cannot escape that. Even if we have to, like send an email, that causes stress sometimes. So we cannot escape stress, but yes, there are so many ways of dealing with stress.
I think that's very well said. And this point that you mentioned about linking your what you're eating and your mind and your gut are linked to each other, and that's the advice we give to our kids also, that stop television if you're eating food. So that's something I think we all should follow, especially mindfulness. So you are a yoga expert, and I don't want to miss this opportunity. And for all our audience, I would just request if you can show certain quick poses that we can follow during our daily life, where, while sitting, while doing certain work, which we can, abide by and ensure a better health and a mental wellness for us.
Yeah, sure. I would love to do that. So, as I was telling about meditation, mindfulness, I would love to begin with that first. So, there's a meditation called as pulse meditation. Now, your pulse is found here, exactly below your thumb. So, your pulse is found here, exactly below your thumb. You can place your two fingers and you can find your pulse here. Even you all can try, yeah. When you find your pulse, it's a very slow movement. Yes. Now, the difficult part is to find the same pulse here between your index finger and your thumb. So do not involve your nail. Just place your index finger and your thumb here. Here. This requires utmost level of concentration, of focus. So what you can do is, even while you are sitting in office, now when you close your eyes and there's nothing around, there would be thousands of thoughts. But when you have a focus point, so this is like your focus point, and it's a difficult one, trust me, you'll not be able to find it directly. But once you find it, you can start counting it. So this pulse meditation, set a timer of 1 minute, only do it for 1 minute, maybe before entering an important meeting or before starting your day, or especially when you feel stressed up. You can just practice this 1 minute pulse meditation, count your pulse. It would be faster in the initial phase and then it will start lowering down. So this is the type of meditation that works best for everyone, for a beginner or for an advanced level meditator. Then the headache. So whenever we are stressed up, the first thing that aches is this, the temporal lobe and this part. So what you can do is, why is it happening is because the brain has overworked and the body is still at the same position. the physical and the mental amount of work that both are doing is not balanced. So the blood circulation towards the brain is also reduced a little bit. Just by doing this simple stretches, if I show you, you will be like, I already know it, but we know everything. We just don't implement it. So just simply moving your head right, left to the fullest extent. So like try to look behind and then up, leave your head loose and down, touch your chin to your collarbone. These are the four movements. The fifth one is side tilting and then the other side tilting and a full rotation. So just by doing this, you might think it was a part of stretching, but there are carotid arteries that are present in your neck. So from your heart, these arteries are carrying blood towards the brain. And when you're stretching this and holding it for like, let's say 5 counts or 10 counts, you are actually activating those arteries. And it will help you resolve migraine issues. It will also help you resolve stress and do some eye exercises like right, left, up, down, cross, as well as clenching your eyeballs and then loosening it up. So these eye exercises will also help you instantly. These are some instant remedies. And one last thing is posture. So because we have to sit for such long hours, and again, whenever we are stressed up, we tend to like enter into our laptops or the desktop because we want to go closer, and that's how we are meant to be, or we are prepared that way. So you constantly have to consciously work on your shoulders. So probably just by opening up the chest, taking few deep breaths, that will help you instantly reduce the stress and also breathe from your mouth. So we are not aware how much we are breathing and just being aware of the breath, taking few deep breaths, working on some posture improving poses like just doing an ulta namaste or just leaning your head behind and lifting your hands up. So there are so many poses that you can actually do on the chair. But make sure that you are at least doing this, whatever I've said, at least doing it on a regular basis. Because this is very easy. No one will know that you're actually, stretching or you're doing something for yourself. And you can show up as well.
I think so simplistically put, and I don't think these are very complex or difficult exercises which we all will dread. I think these are very simple sitting. You can just spend 5 minutes doing these, and I think our audience have really picked it up, and I'm sure they are going to abide by that. So thank you so much, Urvi, for that. I would move on to Krishna now. Krishna, you are a parent. Being a parent, how do you encourage your children to eat healthy, stay healthy, especially their, physical wellness? How do you promote that with them?
Oh, I didn't see that question coming, but let me reflect on my own experiences with my mother and father. Um, First is they will involve me in some form of cooking. It's not like that you'll sit at a table and food will be served. So my mom will send me for some odd jobs here and there. Fetch something, fetch here, fetch that, go outside, bring something. So that would teach me how much does a coconut cost, or how much does a 250 gram of vegetable will cost, and so on and so forth. So that's I think the first step which I do with my son as well. Then I will also be, for want of a better word, paramilitary, which means cutting, grating, doing something, or cleaning vessels, etc., or get the bucket, this, that, etc., wash. So not really in the mainstream, but sort of thinking I'm contributing to that. Boil the water, keep some coffee, etc., etc. That's how it got started. I think in a way I try to palm it off to my son as well, so that I can get him closer to this. Um, on the food front, options were always full of veggies and fruits, so it was never only the main course. So I think that get started, and I'm saying that from a point of, look, I may be a 6 or 7 on 10, not a 10 on 10 for my son or houseover. That gives you more options from where you want to provide for that, as opposed to saying there's nothing, right? In terms of the options that you want to provide. And we don't really keep too many outside food items at home. So It's not that we want to keep it a very sparse place, but we don't keep much. That also deprives you of some options which you would have hitherto gone and done some snacking. Encouraging outdoors and physical activity. This is something that we do regularly, so that get the sunlight, go out, let's move, let's not take the car or the cycle for everything. Cycle is also preferable, but that's it. And then don't drink your calories is something that everybody should understand. It's a very pithy statement. Don't drink your calories, but it means a lot. I think definitely it's not always a don't do. It should also be celebrating your wins with such like things. It's like a treat day or a cheat day. I do remember my father will take me out for an ice cream on an occasion, or some association where we will know what is predicted. It will come through. So we look forward to that. So it was also not all work and no play. It was always mixed. So some things can apply from here if I were to just do a service for what I'm here for in terms of financial planning as well. So start small and start giving them responsibilities. It could be money, or it could be, cooking, or, healthy choices. One has to start giving them responsibilities. At times, they will be thinking whether they are an adult or they are a teenager, and so do parents think. Should I treat that person as an adult or as a teenager or as a child? So the better way is to get started. Two is, my times pocket money was unheard of. It was perhaps criminal to ask for it. But going with the times, you could perhaps give some money, make them accountable, and let them get their wins. They will like some nice possessions you can afford to, they can bring. They will also make mistakes. So let them make. What's the harm, right? As long as you don't give your OTP and your password, etc., etc., let them, start small. Ask them to pick items from shopping so they will know what it costs. Their choices or what you're buying, let them know. And the only way is to deal with, physical money or things like that. If you're not comfortable sending out your kid with your phone, etc. Medicine, snacks, etc., etc., and ask them to keep a tab. A good idea is to come and write down. It could be on a digital front. It could be something like that. You should know the connection between income less expenses equal to savings. You go that route, or income less savings equal to expenses. These mean quite a lot, and they are poles apart in a condition. My father always used to say, income less savings should be your expenses, not the other way around. These are ways how a person can get started. Not too complex, but definitely worth tryable.
Yeah, I think for the kids, we all have to really rise up and start giving them that kind of financial awareness and how to deal with money kind of lessons, starting from even as they are like 5 years, 6 years old. I think that's very important, and I totally agree with what Mr. Krishna has just now said. I'll move on to Charan, and Charan, you also have 2 young daughters. I would want to know from you that how are you encouraging them to stay focused on their health and wellness? What are your tips to them?
So, like I said, Ruchita, being part of a family where my husband is a fitness expert himself, we started very early with them. My elder daughter was, I think, 8 years. Younger one was about 3 when we actually started their karate classes. So over a period of time, that was the first step towards their fitness and their mental well-being also. So while they learned judo karate, they also did a lot of self-defense, which also really helped them to gain confidence, when they're moving out alone and, are out in public areas and all of that. They're both black belts today. The second step, was to really also make them understand that you can do anything and everything that a guy can do. So there is no difference between a guy and a girl. My husband himself is a powerlifter. So we actually put them into powerlifting just for the experience. Both of them actually went for a Delhi state competition. They had a bench press silver medal from a Delhi state to their kitty. And it was just done so that they gained the confidence that they can do anything. That also gave them their mental confidence to say, I can do it. I can do, if somebody else can do it, I can do it as well. So there is no difference. That was, part 2. Third, again, there is a very, very important aspect of what we eat. So there you will not see, unless guests are coming home, there are no cokes, no chocolates, no chips available in my house. So eating right, eating healthy is the other aspect, which we encourage them. Of course, when they were kids, they wanted chocolates, they wanted, ice creams, they wanted Coke. But now they've become, over a period of time, because it's become a habit, to be very conscious. Even when they go out, if they drink Coke in somebody else's house, you can't, refuse. So you're very conscious of saying, okay, I've had a Coke now, I better not have it for the next 2 days. So I think it all starts very early. And I feel if you start educating them about what is junk food and what is healthy eating at a young age, as they grow, it just becomes a habit, which is what Urvi was saying. Then they become conscious themselves to say this is right eating and this is not right eating. That's what we do.
Very well said. And I think Krishna also said that outside food items are not allowed at his place. And even you mentioned that no junk food. I think these are certain things which we as parents should start adopting for our kids to have a healthy lifestyle even in future. We have a lot of questions pouring in from our audience. So in the interest of time, I will start taking audience question. But before that, I would request all the audience to please rate this webinar. I think it will be very useful for us to see your feedback and adapt as we move on in the future webinars as well. My first question coming directly from our audience, and her name is Shreya. She's asking, how can we ensure our physical and mental wellness in this environment of climate change and pollution?
Should I answer this?
Yeah, please.
So, see, there's nothing that you can do about the climate and the pollution around. But if you are really worried about the pollution around, all you can start with is oxygen plants. So, if you see the background here, it's all green because this is like a garden, a balcony garden that I've planted with oxygen rich food. So, even I am staying in Mumbai and I know the pollution outside. That's the first step. So, planting greenery around you. Second thing is physical well-being and mental stress. Now, definitely office stress is carried to home and home stress is carried, like chronic stress is a problem. And chronic stress is the major problem of all the hormonal imbalance. So you have to be conscious. Stress cannot just go away. You have to be conscious. You have to accept, okay, I have so much on my plate. Let me divide it this way and assign accordingly. And once you work on your time management, once you have a plan, so there are these 4 hormones called as hope. This is dopamine, oxytocin, as well as serotonin and endorphins, the dose. So these hormones are called as happy hormones. So these are coming from different ways. For example, exercise will help you with endorphins. Hugging someone or expressing your emotions will lead to oxytocin and serotonin. And if you're doing something good for yourself, like, just sticking to your plan, for example, you have planned the day tomorrow, your tomorrow's day, and you have all the ticks, you will get that happy hormone. So you cannot always work on reducing the stress, but you can definitely work on increasing naturally happy hormones. So there are other ways of increasing the happy hormones, but always work on naturally increasing it. And I think that's how you'll be able to balance both.
Very nice. So maintaining greenery around, and especially the scientific point that you have mentioned, that our body works on these special hormones. So we should have more and more secretion of these hormones so that we have a healthy lifestyle. So my next question is from Richa to Krishna. How should women approach their retirement planning, especially if they take a lot of career breaks?
Oh, wonderful. Good thought. And retirement, unfortunately has been seen as only associated with very elderly ages and senior citizen. It's not so. Unlike the generation that we were earlier in, or our parents' generation, they started work early, they worked long, and they lived shorter, right? So the earning years were higher, the non-working living years were fewer. Cut over to our times, we are starting late because we are doing post-graduation and higher advanced work, etc., etc. Our incomes are higher, I hope so, for all. but the work period is getting truncated. But one will live longer because of advanced medical facilities, our own investments in health, etc., etc. Net result, you should not wait for your non-earning years to start your retirement plans. You should start much earlier. There are a lot of plans that give income as annuity. Annuity means pension, and pension is not again to be associated with the elderly. You could start getting annuity or monthly income payouts, and those plans can be taken at 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. When you're talking about career breaks, Richa, it could also be about you may not want to pay regular premiums. You could pay a lump sum for 5 years, for 3 years, for 7 years, or you could pay a single premium as well. So there are many such plans that most life insurers do. And for those of you who are on the side of 50 plus and 60 who may be watching, there are also as insurers, we can also provide pension. So if somebody has a retirement corpus that comes because of their withdrawing from provident fund or gratuity, etc., etc., you could also come and bring it to us in a lump sum, and we will be able to give it to you as annuity. We have a sister organization, Max Life Pension Fund Management, which provides you pensions as well. So in a way, options these days are much better than the Esther years where people used to only depend on, used to be dependent only on, say, fixed deposits. Access our site www.maxlifeinsurance.com, or leave a message with us in any of our touch points, be it the email IDs or the helpline. We'll be happy to assist you and serve you.
That's very nice. Thank you, Krishna. In the interest of time, I will take one more question. I have lots of them, but let me prioritize one of them. A very interesting question from Pooja. She's asking, how can someone be mindful of what they eat if they don't have time to cook or don't know how to cook in this age of online food ordering from restaurants? I think, Urvi, I will give it to you if you can just quickly answer that.
Yeah, so the first step, if you are ordering from outside or in this modern era, so nowadays even Zomato and Swiggy has come up with this calorie awareness where they will tell you how much calories is present, calorie, protein, fat, all three are present in that food. So generally it would be 600, 700, 1000 calories as well. So the first step is, if you are ordering from outside, always check the calorie content. The food should be lower than 500 calories. If it is lower than 500, see, one meal 500, and since you're having three such meals, 1500 is an average calorie if you're looking for weight maintenance. So look for something like that, and it shouldn't be empty calories. Now, if you're ordering a burger, it can come under 500 calories, and if you're ordering a quinoa Buddha bowl, it can also come under 500 calories. But here, along with the calories, it's coming with fiber, it's coming with protein, it is coming with all the minerals. But this one is just calories and fat. So again, try to distinguish between these two. And if you're not able to cook or you are not interested, that's absolutely okay. Here are some non-cooking ways in which you can include good nutrition to your diet. Curd. All you have to do is just set it overnight and have it in your lunch, or probably by evening, or if suitable during the dinner time as well. So no cooking included, right? Nothing. But you're getting your probiotics, you're getting your fiber, you're getting your protein as well. Second is sprouts as well as oats. So you can just soak oats, chia seeds in milk. That's it. You can sprinkle some honey over it or some roots. No cooking involved. All you have to do is just mix two ingredients. Then sprouts. You can actually sprout pulses, plus you can sprout cereals. Ragi, jawar, bajra, moong, matki, chole, rajma, all of this can be sprouted. So you have to soak pulses in the afternoon time in water. Before bedtime, remove the water, put it in a muslin cloth, and tomorrow morning you'll have it. No cooking involved, no efforts. These 3-4 options were all effortless and the most nutritious one. So all you have to do is just include this in your lifestyle, at least one meal. One meal you can have from outside if you are having the good calorie meal, and the other one you can prepare something like this.
Very well said. I think this idea of yours, wherein we can check on Zomato and Swiggy's of the world at what calorie are we taking. I think we all should start doing that. And in fact, these household items which can be like quickly prepared are good ideas. And thank you so much, Urvi. So I think this comes to the end of the session. I would like to thank you all for such an insightful conversation and so much of learning from all the experts out there. So I really learned a lot from all three of you, whether it's, small drops of ocean can create a lot of financial stability for us, whether it's, from Charan, sitting and finding time with the family and taking those kind of important decisions and planning for yourself. And Uri, of course, a lot of those tips, especially those, exercises that you have told me, which are like 5-minute exercise and very easy to do. So I think all of these are very small nuggets which I've just mentioned. The kind of ocean of learning that we had in this 1 hour is really nice for all of us. So I would like to thank you all for being there and guiding us all throughout. I would like to thank our audience for being patient with us, for having so many questions. I mean, I will try to address some of the questions outside the session. We will see how we can close that. But thank you so much. And I'm pleased to see that Max Life Insurance is also doing a lot of commendable work when it comes to financial wellness of women and otherwise. So great job for Max Life Insurance as well. Have a great day. Please don't forget, day after tomorrow, there is a health and fitness webinar too. Please do join in. We'll have a set of experts coming there as well and guiding you through. Thank you so much. It's Ruchita Jain signing out. Thank you.
Thank you.